So join us as we dive into this week's mess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Mess, this my favorite podcast. I'm Jess, working through the mess, and I am so glad and grateful you came back to hang out with us again today.
And hey, everybody, I'm Rena. I'm your other host, and I'm just vibing.
Yeah. All right, folks.
What was
You
that?
you guys are joining us for episode 85. Is Black mediocrity the new Black excellence? And I'm really actually very excited and ready to dive into this. But before we do, we have a little segment called What's the Mess? So I'm gonna ask Rena, what's your mess?
My mess is that everything is a mess,
Oh man.
and I'm embracing it.
Period.
My bed is unmade, my clothes ain't washed, dishes aren't put away, and I'm just still, like I said, I'm vibing. I'm having a good time. I'm
Period.
not putting pressure on myself. I'm just kind of just flowing right now. And it could be,
Wow. I mean, I'm impressed because,
I think a lot of things have come up recently that I can't control. And I think it's
okay.
kind of just forced me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just
I'm vibing out.
I'm gonna just vibe it out. Like I
Yeah.
don't have any room for resistance right now.
That's real shit.
I
That's
don't.
real shit. When shit just be piling on, you say, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah. That's where I am.
Okay.
So that's my mess. That
I mean,
like
it's actually really beautiful though, because I know that there was a time and space where that would have been a lot, especially all the things that did happen that were outside of your control, on top of other things. So
yeah.
I'm proud of you. I'm impressed with the resolve. Like that's fucking dope.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
of course, of course.
And what
Anything
about
else?
you?
Oh, my
Oh no,
mess.
anything else?
Yeah.
No, I mean, if I had to say something, I
You
gotta
don't have to, but it's a
okay,
podcast,
fine,
so
I won't say
feel
it.
free to share. No, please, please.
Nah, I just got a little, birthday going up, whatever.
You got what?
No, I'm just saying I got like a little birthday coming up or whatever.
Oh, right.
So
Shall
I
we sing today? Let's sing for
no.
Rena because we won't see her until several weeks after her birthday. And her birthday is the day this comes out. Okay, let's
Oh wow.
sing.
I didn't even realize that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. How old are you? How old are you? How old, how old are you? Your turn.
What am I supposed to say?
I'm such and such years old. The silence was so loud. That's hilarious. Happy birthday coming up. I hope that it is so much fun. I hope that you are sitting in the understanding of how beautiful it is to continue to grow older, to learn more about yourself every year. I know we just talked about being older before
Yeah,
this
yeah.
and how people have such a fear of getting to the stage where we are and how beautiful it kind of is on this side. And so I'm wishing you many, many more.
Thank you. Thank you.
But of course, but of course. Okay, my mess. The end of the quarter is coming up, right? And I feel
Okay.
like I've accomplished most of the things I set out to do for this quarter.
Wow.
I know I'm feeling pretty good about it. There are some things, of course, there are things that I'm gonna have to like really hunker down and like really be on top of. But this
Mhm.
quarter has been really fulfilling. I put down my goals to paper and I've looked at it on occasion. And then I have a friend who I'm kind of going back and forth with, just asking about our goals. So that's kind of making me be very mindful of it. And so, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. The reward for that is a dance class. So now I got to find a dance class that I get to go take and participate in. So, yeah, I've been I've been doing things, I'm working really hard to get this short made. I think I talked about it last year. I talked
Hmm.
about some of the disappointment in not having it made last year. But I'm actually putting things in place. I've talked to production. I have some friends who are in production and had like a production meeting. I've talked to the other actor I want to cast as the opposite of my lead. Um, and it's just feeling like it's very much coming together, and my heart is overjoyed. I'm like, you know, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for everybody to see it. I'm pumped for it to actually happen. I'm just excited that I'm actually putting in the groundwork. One day I woke up at like 6 a.m. randomly, and I was like, I'm gonna try to go back to sleep. I was like, no, just revise your scripts. That's what you need to do. This is the time. Like, wake up and do that. So I was up anyway, and I just did it. And I was so proud of myself that day. I was like, look at you being a fucking adult and like doing shit. So this is a season of like just gratitude that I'm like putting in the effort for myself, giving myself all of the attention and the energy and all the things that I was like giving out to other people. I can finally feel it starting to really matriculate into myself. And so I'm grateful, 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 grateful. Yeah, that's my mess.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that you're really
Thank
like
you.
that things are coming together, that you wrote it down and you really like
Yeah.
that you're just that your word is just coming alive, you know?
Man, I'm just like, wow, this is a beautiful season to be in. Like, it's some like I've been trying in these last few years actually to be very much in the present and very like allowing those moments to really take over me and to be like really sit in them and let them overwhelm me, because it's easy for the bad shit to overwhelm you, like that shit be
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, it's a wave and that shit rush over you, feel it for a long time. And so I'm doing my best now to let the same happen with the things that feel good and just let them wash
Yeah.
over me and bask and just be like, damn, okay, you was feeling bad at the start, but bitch, you doing that shit. Like, you putting yourself out there, you're like,
Yeah.
following the steps, doing what you can. Also acknowledging where I can improve. Of course, there's still some improvements that need to come along as the year progresses, but I'm really taking to heart the discipline for this year and really trying, and that's it, really trying, period. And so the effort has been rewarding and I'm grateful.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks. Thanks,
You
thanks,
know, and I'm gonna
thanks.
keep that. You said that you like, you really putting things to like pen and paper, setting your intentions to
Yeah.
pen and paper. So I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna start writing some stuff down.
Write it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been a very in my head human most of my life.
Um,
And I love notepads and I love new sketch pads and I love journals and just the look of them, the feel of them, the smell of new paper, because I'm a book nerd at heart. And so all of those things have always felt exciting to me. And then I would be discouraged because I wasn't consistent in writing things down,
oh
never
yeah.
consistent in like journaling or putting things on a calendar. And so that just coming over that discouragement about like, well, that's not who you are, and being like, okay, it wasn't, and maybe we can try some new shit. So yeah, the pen to paper is really just like helps me. It's like, this is what I want to do. Like, oh shit, it's happening.
You really meant that.
I made that shit. I made that shit. But yeah, so that's my mess. I'm very excited. And I'll keep you guys updated with how things are going.
All
It
right.
should be it should be
Look forward
good.
to that. It should be. I can't wait to see
Hmm.
this short.
Me either. In my head, it's so great. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can bring it out to reality, and it's as great as it is in my
That's
head.
gonna be a great process. That's gonna be
Yeah,
beautiful. Yes.
yeah. Well, guys, if you remember, we are at season 4, episode 85. Is Black Mediocrity the new Black excellence? And why did we choose this topic, Rena?
Twitter.
Twitter, Twitter fingers. Okay.
So pretty much I saw a post saying, what did I gotta look it up. What did the post say? Do you remember?
I have your
I sent
text.
it to you.
You did. Let me look at here and see. And I was like, okay, wait.
Oh
Let me
wait,
find
I
it.
just found it. Okay.
Oh, it's okay.
Wait. There it
I
is.
have it. If you want me to read it, okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
read it. You read it. You read it.
No. If you got it, go ahead.
No, I done lost it already. Go ahead and read it.
Okay. The tweet says, "I honestly believe in Black mediocrity. Like, why we got to be excellent all the time."
Yes. So when I saw that on Twitter, I immediately
Uh-huh.
sent that to you. And when I
Did.
say this post was so loud,
Ooh.
it yelled at me
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
caused me to release a breath I didn't know I was holding. It gave me permission I
Damn.
didn't know I was seeking. Like, this is just a thing that I've heard all my life. And just like that
Yeah.
confirmation of just knowing that somebody out there was like, you know what? Yeah, like, why we got to be excellent all the time?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've always heard, because I'm Black, I have to work twice as hard. Because I'm a
Yeah.
woman, just go ahead and double that. So,
Yeah.
like, quadruple that up.
Right.
And it just always seemed like there was like this fight ahead of me due to just, being born Black and a woman. And it's
Yeah.
just a lot. And honestly, like, I'm like, I didn't realize how tired I was until I saw that
Damn.
post. I was like, I'm fucking tired. Like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah. It's
You
giving
know?
why? Why? Yeah. I feel you. When you sent this to me, I immediately had feelings.
Okay.
And I don't
Okay.
think that we were on the same page with the feelings that we had. I don't.
Oh,
This
this
is
is
gonna be
good.
really interesting.
Okay. Okay.
So
Oh, I like this. Oh yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
I'm
it.
ready to
Let's
dig
do
it
it.
down. I'm
We
ready to
ready.
dig it down because I immediately had feelings and I was like, oh damn, let's touch on that because that's the feeling you got and it's strong in you, bitch. But okay. Let the people know what the agenda. Huh?
You said it's strong in who?
In me, my feelings was real strong, and I
Oh,
was like, "Damn, I'm ready to
okay.
dig this down." But
Okay.
let the people know what the agenda is for this episode.
I mean, as always, it's to dig it down,
Dig
which
it
stands
down.
for define, impact, and cope. So this episode, we're going to explore the idea of Black excellence, mediocrity, how these concepts have shaped our lives and how we intend to cope and heal going forward. Is there anything I missed in there that
No,
you
I
feel
think
like?
that's great.
Okay. Another thing to note, we make each section clearly known so you could,
Mhm.
follow along with us, have this conversation with us, with others, with yourself. So feel free to pause when you see fit to give yourself time to write, journal, reflect, or you can just keep listening. Just do what feels right to you. Oh, and if you vibe, we
We
try.
tried. Yeah, we got it this time, right?
We
Let me.
did.
I tried to wait till I saw your mouth moving. I was like, we tried. I didn't want to be scolded on the podcast again.
Wow.
She's so dramatic. Okay, guys, we are now to the definition.
All right.
So, as you know, we scooted on over to Google and defined excellence as the quality of being outstanding or extremely good.
All right.
And mediocrity is defined as only of moderate quality, not very good.
Okay.
So, to be completely honest, this agitated my spirit in ways I don't really know how to articulate. I don't know if it's leftover perfectionism or intergenerational trauma, but as soon as I read that tweet, I was disturbed. I was like, no. I was like, no. I was literally like, no.
So there was no like, what do they mean by that? It was just like, no, absolutely not.
It's the wording. It's the wording for me. It's mediocre because mediocre means not very good. And like, we'll get into it in the impact. But yeah, that's the definition for me. And initially, my spirit was agitated. I was like, ugh. I'm like, ugh. That's what y'all want to be out here achieving. Not very good. That's what. Yeah, child. I was feeling it. I was like,
okay.
but anyway, that's my definition.
Okay. Okay. So for me, I'm gonna give you some really mediocre definitions.
Yes.
Excellence, being better than the rest.
Period.
I mean, once you just judge up all everything you just said, that's what it is.
True.
And mediocrity means being okay or not being that great. Just coasting, basic, just doing enough, or hell, not even that at all. That's mediocre, right?
Okay.
And I mean, based on that definition, I don't know why I'm so happy, but I don't know.
Oh God. Okay. Is there more to your definition?
Those are my definitions. So
Okay,
now we're
perfect.
jumping into the impact of it
To the
all.
impact.
So let's hear what you gotta say, because I really didn't
Okay.
see it going this way. I'm kind of
Right.
shocked. So we're gonna
I
be
mean, I think because to be mediocre to me is to not do your personal best. And that seems ridiculous to me. Now, I think the idea behind the tweet, is to not kill yourself to live up to anybody else's idea of what excellence is. And with that, I do agree. But to not do your personal best is off putting. It is disturbing. And I'm sitting with it. I'm sitting with it
I know.
because I feel that from people and it bothers me. And that's why I feel like in life I've been considered like very critical, because I'm like, you can fucking do better than that. Again, it shouldn't be up to me. And that's something that I've had to sit with to shut the fuck up, because I don't know what people's personal best is, so that is something that I'm wrestling with and understanding. But I also have an understanding that your personal best could be that today I do nothing with all my heart. And for that, you've given your best. Or today I only have a few hours of being social in my time battery. But to not give what you have and to not be very good at it is like really hard to wrap my head around. Like, I don't know. I think that is something I need to heal, because I think I understand what they were trying to say, but mediocre is just so it's so what is it? It's like it's a coward's approach, I feel, to be about life. I don't know if that makes sense, because some days are bad days, and no, they're not going to look like the good days for anybody. But I don't know, to do mediocre though, it's not saying give your best, and if that looks like this, then that's okay. It's saying don't try very hard at anything. Like, I don't know. That is
okay.
maybe I'm seeing it wrong, and I recognize that there's some traumas that are involved, and it could be intergenerational. It could be the perfectionism of feeling like if I have everything in my ducks in a row, things will be smooth, or there's no anxiety. I mean, it could be a lot of those things, but like that really triggered me, and I was like, why would you want to just be to I don't
So
know.
I think
I don't know.
I'm gonna jump in here. So
Okay.
I get what you're saying about being intentionally mediocre.
Yes.
Like if it's intentional and that's what you're striving for, then yeah, I get like your confusion and like the feelings that are coming up for you. When I saw this, I can tell you what came up for me.
Okay.
I think you touched on something that I think is important. The fact of other people labeling somebody's actions as mediocre.
Right.
For me, when I saw it, like I didn't think of it as being like intentionally mediocre. The way I received it was like, just kind of doing it in your way, the best way you know how, like
okay.
in that moment, and how that struggle that we always hide. It's often seen as people being mediocre. And I feel like a lot of times people are hella mediocre until they're excellent.
Right. Right. That's
Like
true.
being mediocre is a part of the process. Like we don't just show up good.
Right.
And that's kind of my issue. Yeah, I was on the side of Black mediocrity because Black excellence has been so traumatic to me.
I understand.
Like,
I understand.
Y'all are labeling what I've chosen, my personal best. See, that's another thing. Like a lot of times people's personal best is labeled as mediocre. And who are you to judge that? Who are you to judge where I am?
Is that not still Black excellence?
It's not labeled as Black excellence.
We're not talking about the label. We're talking about you in yourself.
That's just
right?
it. But that's not how it is perceived.
Okay.
Or projected.
Right.
In reality.
Right.
We're told when we're growing up that you got to be better than everybody else. And if you're not the best, you're mediocre. You get mediocre by default. And it's like, I don't want to be the best at
everything.
Right. I don't want to be the best at like doing my hair, doing my edges.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't want to be the best at a lot of these things that
Okay.
I felt forced to be the best at. And it's like, if you're not the best at everything, like there's some
Mhm.
people who are really good at like one thing, but because
Right.
they're just okay at the other things,
And then
then it's
mediocre.
like, you're not excellent. You're mediocre.
Okay.
You're not
Okay.
trying your best. You're not doing your best. You're
Uh-huh.
just, you know?
Mm, mm. I
And
see that. I see that.
so that's
I
where
think that's
I'm
fair.
coming from with it. So,
That's
like,
fair.
for me, this idea of being excellent because I'm Black, especially, because I'm a woman,
Mm,
especially,
mhm.
because I'm queer, especially, because ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna marry you. Like, you ain't gonna get a husband to take care of you. So, you need
Yeah.
to be so great. I have been striving to be excellent, and I don't even know
Um,
what the hell that is. I'm
yeah.
waiting for Black people to come down and tell me, you're excellent.
I'm weak. Where they coming down from?
You're
On high?
excellent.
They
I don't
have
know.
horses?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Them high ass black ass horses to just come
Yeah.
trotting on in
Yeah.
to be like,
You
this is an
know,
excellent Negro right here. Like I'm just it.
right?
And then, you
But
know what's crazy? Even
what?
if every Black person, Black Twitter were to crown me excellent Negro of the year, right?
Weak.
Black
Uh-huh.
excellence of the moment,
Uh-huh.
I probably wouldn't feel excellent.
Damn. And that's why it's an internal thing though.
It is an
That's why
internal
it's
thing,
an internal
but
thing
it's
though.
Black excellence has become a collective thing, has become like this
Okay.
monolith. And
Well, but
don't
think about
nobody
it.
know what it is. Like what they tell us is Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't want that.
Yeah, same.
Like, they tell us like it's Diddy. I don't
Mm,
want that. You
mm-mm.
know?
Oprah.
Oprah. I want
You
that.
want that?
You
No,
know?
wait. I
I want
want that.
some
You
of
do?
it. I want some of
I'll
it.
take the money.
The money and the dogs.
I just want the money from all of them. I don't want to be known
But
in
that's
that
what
way.
they're telling us. Black excellence is money. And then we listen to a lot of these people.
That's
It's supposed to be
true.
Black excellence. And then they be
Yeah.
saying some
Crazy
stupid
shit.
shit.
But this was my thing too, that I think when I think about being mediocre, I think about what that leaves for somebody else. And again, this could be my trauma or my own
All right.
personal thing coming up.
Okay.
But when I think of, let's say we're in a workforce and you're being mediocre and I'm giving my best, somebody's gonna have to pick up the slack. And
Are they?
oftentimes, yes, in life, it
Well,
feels
isn't
like
that like the
it feels
job, your boss's responsibility to sift out my mediocrity and find somebody who is more worthy of the position?
I mean, yes, I'm using that as an example, but I just mean in life. When I think about even in relationships, if one person's mediocre,
Mediocre.
mediocre, if one person's
Yeah.
mediocre, the other one is weighted down with such heaviness of trying to balance things,
Is that or you're
right?
not compatible?
It could be that.
You
You
can
ju-
receive that as being mediocre because we're not being the success right now.
No, it's not even. See, for me, it doesn't equate to success. It doesn't equate to dollars and cents. For me, it's like,
Function.
I don't know. This is just, maybe this is my judgment piece showing its face, but I just feel like
I get what you're saying though.
if
It's
you're
about
not,
functioning well together.
it's about functioning well together. And
Yeah.
by together, I mean in relationship with one another as human beings, as friends, as family, as yourself. Are you giving mediocre to yourself and now other people got to come and pick up the slack because you don't want to give to yourself? And by mediocre, that could be meaning working all the goddamn time and you never fucking breathe. That could mean you only going for money and you never go for health. That can mean only doing relaxation and never having time for fun. Like it can mean a variety of things. Like
It can.
mediocre doesn't have to. A lot of times we think about it as chasing the bag because that's how they have our brain wire. But
We think of mediocre as chasing the bag?
no, sorry. We think of when I'm thinking, when people are talking about excellence and all this, is about success in a certain like chasing the bag type of
Okay.
way. So when mediocre comes into play, I feel like it's like an opposite of that. Like, oh, you're not chasing the bag, so you mediocre type
And
shit
that
is what I mean. But when I'm thinking of being mediocre, I'm thinking in all areas of life. Like you are literally just not doing that good. Like you
And
are not doing your best.
I
Even
feel like
go ahead.
I
I'm
keep trying
sorry.
to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not making room for that.
For what? Mediocre?
Yes,
Mediocrity?
being mediocre. Because at some point we are until we aren't.
But that's
I
not
don't view
mediocre
it.
though. That's
I
not
don't view
mediocre,
it.
Rena. If you are
That's
not
what
good
you're
yet,
labeling as mediocre. Because
no,
just like you
I'm
said,
not.
okay, this is what I heard in what you
Okay,
just said about like the relationship piece. I'll take that.
right.
Say somebody is working too much or they're just relaxing too much in the relationship, then they're being perceived as mediocre, right?
It's about what they have to give, right? And this is why I think it is confusing and concerning when we start labeling other people. And this is why it's very tricky. You're absolutely right. But when I say that, I mean you are deliberately not giving your best.
How do
And
you
that
know that
it,
person is deliberately not giving their best?
oh my God, you're right. You can't know, but you can. Their spirit, our intuitions tell us shit, and
I mean,
that should be right
I think that's true.
sometimes.
But I
Like,
think,
you know,
that could be that person's choice. Maybe that person's like, hey, I just want to coast. That is my version of Black excellence.
then that's fine. Then that's
Is
fine. But like, see, this
then
is
that's
what I'm
it. So
saying.
this is
That,
the
if
thing.
that's their best, though, if that's their best, then that's their
Then leave
best.
them the hell alone.
What do you mean?
Leave them alone. Like I know your whole thing was like, if we're functioning in a unit, right? Or in a job, that was your example. And you're like, somebody's
Uh-huh.
not pulling their weight, then you're like, you being mediocre and intentionally going about things in this way is disrupting the function, right? Part of that function,
Or
within
putting
that
it on other
function,
people. Mhm.
is to say, okay, I see that your intention, your energy is off, and to remove them from the function of the system and replace them with somebody who can actually function in that way. And then that person who you feel like is being intentionally mediocre in that setting, they may be perfectly aligned in Black excellence in another setting, like on a commune or in a homeless village. I can't hear you at all. I don't know what happened to your mic.
My mic does not like when I laugh that high. That was funny. I don't know that I'm articulating it well, because I think when I say this, it's not to say that there's no room for coasting. There's no room for nothingness. There's no room for downtime. What I'm saying is, do all of those things with your intention. Do all of those things with your best in mind. If coasting is what you're doing right now, then coast with the best of them. I ain't doing shit and mean that shit and stand on that. If I say I don't have the energy to give to you, my friend, to talk, I'm not going to talk to you and give you half-ass. I'm not giving you shit. I don't have it to give. I'm not going to give you mediocre listening. I'm not going to give you mediocre comfort. I'm not going to give you mediocre fun. I'm to myself right now, and that is the best that I have to give. I think just being honest with ourselves about our best and giving that. Like, I think we're so pressured to be everything for everybody that when it's time to do nothing, you can't even do that with the best of them. Like, you giving half-ass nothing. Like, does that make sense?
I think that's because we have a lot of things set up against us from the beginning because of the whole Black excellence label. Like,
Yeah.
who decides what Black excellence is? Like, what? Let me ask you this.
Black Twitter.
Exactly. No, even before Black Twitter, like where
Right.
did Black excellence come from, and what have we been told it looks like? You start, and then I will go after you.
Okay, I don't know from the beginning of history, but I would know the beginning of Black American history of us having to do the most, right? So let's say you pick 12 bags of cotton,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can only pick 10. I'm in trouble. I have got to match your level of excellence, or I'm in trouble, the whole planet, whatever that looks like. Or if you fall behind, somebody else is going to have to come pick you up and make sure that you are well, that we are well as a whole, that you're not in trouble, that I'm not in trouble. And so that's where I think it really stems from, is saying, like, we have to match the excellence so that there's no trouble.
And I'm so glad that you brought up that example.
Yeah, you knew I was.
No, I didn't. I did not know that was the example you're gonna bring up, but it allows me to just announce like one of like my like thoughts and beliefs right now is that Black excellence really is just I just feel like it's aligned with white supremacy.
Oh,
It's like
geez.
it's a
Tell me
way for us
more.
to continue to enslave ourselves and hold ourselves to impossible standards and combine us in a monolith that serves capitalism. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I can see Black excellence was individualized, like we talked about,
Yeah.
but this whole idea of, oh, Massa said we gotta pick 12 bales of cotton, and Lil John over there only picked 10. He's not being an excellent Negro right now. We all gonna get our asses whipped. That
Right.
sentiment still exists within Black excellence.
That's true.
Lil John probably had his toes cut off because he tried to run away last week, and now
Yeah.
he's still picking 10 bales of cotton with no toes. But yeah,
That's
you
pretty
get what I'm
excellent.
saying? That's excellent as fuck. He done got his ass whipped. I have clothes. And he's like, all I got, y'all, is 10 bales. I ain't even 10 toes down, and this bitch only got 5 left. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all turn around and be like, that ain't enough, Lil John.
Damn.
It should have got to freedom.
True.
Put it back on us.
That's true.
Like,
I mean, that's actually, yeah. You're right.
Like, it's
You're
just,
right. But is there something between excellent and mediocre? Can we not just be black? Can we just be black good?
Exactly. That's why when she was like, I just want to be mediocre. I know the word choice was so
It's
out
the
there, but that's
words.
how I
It's the
received
words
it.
for me. I didn't receive it as good.
But that's just the thing. If it's not Black excellence, everything else is trash.
No, she could have said, "Can we just be?"
No, I'm just saying that's the sentiment. That's the sentiment that we're talking about. If you are not Black excellent, you are trash. There is no room to come to fall under Black excellence.
Because
we just wasted time,
like
facing
black
opportunity. Huh?
Yeah.
We talking at the same time. What you say?
We did. I'm sorry. Because I knew this was
over here yelling.
I'm just because like it's the words. It's the words.
It's the
words. She had said, "Can we just be black? Okay. Can we be black cool?
But is that really
can we be black chilling? Because like
black chilling.
Black chilling. Like can we be black chilling? Like I'm down with black chilling. I'm down with black cool. I'm down with black good. Because this I feel like you're absolutely right. When we dive into what Black excellence is, it is a proponent of white supremacy, of capitalism, trying to always be the best Negro
always
for the bag.
Better, always wanting better.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I agree with that. But I think I always take like a more personalized view of things. And I feel like if I just, and this is just a me thing, but the world is crazy.
Absolutely.
The world is tough. There's a lot of shit happening around. And to only give yourself, fuck these people, fuck the world, fuck society, fuck Black people as a whole if they don't get it. But what I'm saying is give yourself the best.
I was like, why fuck me for? I'm like, that 50 Cent me. Why you say fuck me for? What I do?
No, I was saying like if Black people as a whole can't come to the understanding of what your excellence looks like to you or what it means to you, what I'm getting at is that it needs to be a personal thing.
Absolutely,
Like
I agree with that.
And I don't think we have to be excellent in everything because that's just physically not fucking possible to be excellent at everything, right? But to give yourself the best every time that you can, even if that includes coasting. I'm coasting right now with the best of them. I ain't doing shit. I am relaxing with the best of them. I'm about to wild out. I'm about to ball out with my cock out, like all of it with the best of them. I don't know. I just wanted to say it. But like, I don't know. I just feel like it's a very personalized thing. And to give yourself mediocre feels like such a disservice to the life that we have. Again, I don't know why we're here. But sometimes it feels like a privilege. Like I don't know what I did to be here, to experience, consciousness in this way, to be able to grow. I'm such a different human than I was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's a journey in a thing that I've given myself. Every day wasn't a Black excellence day. Let's go for the bag. Some of them days I'm not doing shit. To sit in the bed and cry all goddamn day. But you know what? That was my best that day. And I'm glad that I cried because it lent something to me. And so to have people out here not serving themselves in that way. Oh, it's just so.
I don't think that's how she meant it.
I got you.
I'm pretty sure that's not how she meant it. I think she phrased it that way, of course, because it's Twitter and you want to
course.
like incite and you want people to have
Yeah.
the strong response so they can follow you, so they can fight in the comments.
Yeah.
But I felt the energy from it. And
Mhm.
it's just this energy of, I think she used the word mediocre because when we come short, when we fall short of this Black excellence monolith that's out there,
Okay.
we are
Okay.
often labeled as mediocre.
Mm.
You
Mhm.
know, how many times are we threatening to revoke people's Black card because they didn't behave in the way, you know, we thought they should?
That's
And
true.
offer to, and then want to offer your personal Black card to a white person.
True. For just being nice.
Right. Like, oh, she can come to the cookout. You know what?
She put seasoning on her food. Wow. That's all she
Wow.
needs to do.
And that's just
I gotta
it.
play
Like Black,
spades, know how to play dominoes, braid hair, corn roll, do the Tootsie Roll, know how to twerk. Tootsie Roll. Hey.
you know, but that,
I think we
but,
showed
and
our
it's
age
just,
right there.
but that just goes to show, yeah, right, for sure. Well, that just goes to show you, though, it's like the bar is so low for white people, even for us.
Yeah.
You know, and it just we're further like holding ourselves in captivity
Mm.
and preventing ourselves from exploring and learning what's really for us as individuals, and thus when we come together as a unit,
Yeah.
you know, by kind of saying we got to have Black excellence and it has to look this way. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I go into somebody's church right now, I am not their definition of Black excellence.
Mm.
But I'm my own personal definition of Black excellence. If I walk
And that's
into,
all I was saying. The personal
I
definitions have got to
agree with you.
supersede everybody else's definition. Like, if your idea is that you are walking through life mediocre, I can't imagine. I just can't imagine.
I think a lot of people feel that way. Like, when I work in like Baltimore City, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of kids because they're not doing, and I work with youth,
Yeah.
and they felt like they were mediocre, and they weren't. But
Damn.
that's kind of the label that they've been given. Oh, you're not trying hard enough. You're not doing hard
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Did y'all give them resources?
Right.
Did you slow down things so that they could get it?
Right.
You know, not everybody moves in on the same pace. You know, just
Right.
like my whole example of Lil John the slave, where I hope don't come visit me in my sleep, Lil John, if you're a real
Lil
person.
John about to come with
With
them
the
5
toes.
holes and that one eye and hunch your ass.
Right. But I'm just saying, a lot of like kids in
With
our
his 10
communities,
barrels.
like maybe not physically, aren't
Yeah.
dealing with those issues, but emotionally, mentally,
They are okay.
cognitively are dealing with those issues. And they're
Yeah.
just written off as, you ain't never gonna be nothing. You're
Damn.
mediocre. Like, so
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Literally, the word
Yeah.
mediocrity, you know, it comes, it implies that there's intention.
Yeah.
But I think the way that it pops up when we like compare it to like Black excellence,
Mhm.
you know, it's like if you're falling short, we put the blame back on the person.
Yeah, that's
So we're
true.
like, you're intentionally just being really fucked up right now.
Yeah. When
And
you
we
could be
act
giving
like,
more.
right. I'm like,
That's
uh,
real shit.
Black excellence, like I said, it's been the root of my anxiety.
Yeah. I
And
can see
so
that.
to see someone just be able to say, like, strike it off the list, like, be mediocre. Like, sometimes I feel like you got to go to the other extreme to balance yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for, and it's balance.
That's true.
You know, I don't want
That's
to be
true.
mediocre. I don't ever want to be intentionally mediocre. I'm not intentionally mediocre, but somebody can come behind me and feel like I'm being mediocre, and that's not fair.
It's not. And yeah. This was I knew this was gonna be a topic where the mics would fail
Clash.
us because we were so loud. But I don't know. Are we to the cope now, or did you tell your
I think I'm
impact?
pretty,
I think
yeah.
you kind of said it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I kind of said it. Like,
Did you have some questions or something before we get into the
I
cope?
feel like I asked the questions, you know, like,
Okay.
where
Okay.
do we learn to be excellent? Like, whose idea is Black excellence? And this is the thing, Black excellence really started off as a form of protection, and it
Of
remains
course.
in place that way. But before, it used to kind of keep people out. Now I think it's keeping us in.
Prison of our own creation.
Yeah.
I agree. I think so. We are to the cope now,
Yeah, I think we're
right?
at the cope. Let's just go
Okay.
to the cope. Yeah.
I I cope by minding my Black ass business. That's what I do. Listen, I'm going to allow others to rest where they feel most comfortable. And if it's a place of mediocrity, then I breathe the understanding that that is their journey that they are choosing. For myself, I will continue to give me my best and no one else. And if that means I do nothing all day, then that's my best and I gave it. I think I cope with the understanding that we're all just trying to figure it out. And I do understand Black excellence being a source of anxiety and a source of strife for a lot of people, because the idea of what Black excellence is very narrow and siloed view. And it's not fair to all the ranges and the plethora and the diaspora that we are, a part of. I do think there has to be a more nuanced understanding that the excellence comes from what you have to give.
Yes.
And mediocre until you're excellent. And you've said that before. I think that's still your best. Like, you know what I'm saying? It may look, even if you know that it's not great compared to them, sure, have a realistic understanding of your yourself, but know that at this moment, I gave my damnedest and that was the best for me. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being Black good. I will say that.
Okay.
Black excellence may not always be achievable. Black good may not always be achievable either. But to strive for Black mediocrity, I cannot stand for necessarily. But I will say, back to the top of the cope, I'm a mind my Black ass business.
Well, okay, all right. let me just ask you this before I get into like my cope.
Okay.
Just to kind of put it in perspective, right? So say, and to give some reference, I have a perfectionist streak. So a lot of times, I know, shocking.
It is.
So a lot of times if I don't do things perfectly or the way I think is perfect or the way that I think others will think is perfect or excellent, I won't do it at all.
Oh, yeah.
So
I feel you.
How do you think about somebody who is like, you know what? I'm going to intentionally kind of just do this however I can do it. Just get it done however I could get it done. Slap it together just because I want to show myself I can just at least complete. And I know it may look mediocre. I'm just doing what I got to do to get what I got to get done.
I think
would you still label that as mediocre, or would you still label that as mediocre? I guess that's my question.
I would not. I would label it as like two things can be true at the same time. Your best could not be the best.
Okay.
And having those real conversations with yourself. I've put out things that I'm like, it isn't even my personal best, but it's where I'm best right now. And I'm like, this is what I have to give. And I'm going to keep going until it's better, until I'm back to better, till I'm back to best. So I think there's two things that can be true at a time. So maybe Black mediocrity is saying, I'm doing my best, but it may not look like the best.
Right.
And so I can allow that. Yes.
So that's what I was going to clarify. Like, I'm not telling people to go out here and just intentionally screw people over and just intentionally not pull your weight. I do believe that's a true definition of being mediocre or trying to take shortcuts. You're being manipulative. You're being deceptive. You're just not working with honor.
Right. I think that's,
I think
that's it.
I think when I read that tweet, what I heard was, I'm okay with being perceived as being mediocre.
Oh, damn.
I'm okay with being perceived as falling short of this unrealistic expectation of Black excellence. I'm okay with you calling me Black mediocre as long as I know what I'm doing for myself.
Yeah, I actually love that. Wow.
And that's why I feel like we need to create room. As part of us becoming as individuals, as Black people, we need to make room for, sometimes you're going to perceive somebody's actions as mediocre and you need to check yourself, not them.
Come on now, mama, Black ass business.
And that goes into your coat. A lot of Black people need to mind their Black ass business. And just because we Black don't mean my business is your business. So that goes with my cope. My cope is that, I cope by deciding what I want and what I think excellence is.
Yes.
And flowing with that understanding And also flowing with the understanding that my excellence may be perceived as mediocrity, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
My flow is not your flow.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah.
100% okay. Like, there's a lot of people right now who are being held up as Black excellence, and I do not agree.
Okay.
And
Absolutely.
but as long as, hey, if they like it, I love it.
Okay. Come on, classic Black saying. Hallelujah. If you like it, I love it. I'm fucking weak.
So
I mean, yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna mind my
That
business.
that's real ass shit though. That's real ass shit. Just because you perceive it as mediocre doesn't mean that it is. They may be trying their absolute best. Wow.
Or
Mm,
they have a different idea of what excellence is. They have a different,
absolutely.
if you're not like toiling away and struggling for the bag and the
Hmm.
Benz and the mansion and all of that, people are like, "Oh, you a bum." I'm like,
Hmm.
"No, no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no, 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 no,
Mm-mm.
no. Like, we're not
Right.
gonna do that.
Right. That's what we're
Like,
not gonna
I
do.
want my cabin in the forest.
Yeah.
That's what I want. You
Yeah.
don't want that, and that's fine."
Right. Right. And that's okay.
And that's okay. It's enough. It's enough for all of us to be. It's enough for us
Right.
to get off the fields, stop doing
Yeah.
this group project of slavery. It's okay for
Yeah.
us to free ourselves. And part of that freedom is to acknowledge ourselves as individuals. There's nothing wrong with going chasing the bag. There's nothing wrong with being a power couple. There's nothing wrong with wanting to start your own church. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to live in a tent if you know everything,
Come on,
you good
caveat.
with it. You good with it. You good with it. Um, there's nothing wrong with saying I just want a modest, like, 2-bedroom home.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with saying I don't want to own a home.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with those things. Like, I just want us to
The
be our
things that you
fullest
actively
selves.
choose. Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah.
you choose it. You make
Hmm.
that choice. You can
Hmm.
only be mediocre if you don't make your own choice.
Ooh, absolutely.
So that's my word.
Absolutely.
Decisions, of being decisive.
Decisions. Okay.
So
Okay.
that's it. That's all.
Wow.
That's it. That's it. That's all I'm
This
gonna say.
was what when you said that to me, child, my head was like, what?
And I said it with such joy.
And you was like, oh, you can breathe. And I'm like, breathe.
Hold
But
on. Okay, nobody heard none of that you just said.
I was so high. Sorry, y'all. I was
You hit other
screaming.
octaves, octaves.
Octaves. I was hitting the octaves. Essentially, it put me in a great tizzy. I'll say that.
I was not expecting that. I really thought
I
like you would
know.
get it, but your Virgo said absolutely the fuck
Absolutely
not.
not. My Virgo said mediocre wear. Because I do, just to recap, I do think it is about being decisive in what you are choosing, and anything else is mediocre. If, again, like you said, anything that you choose is excellent for you. If you are choosing to never own a home, if you're choosing to never have kids, if you're choosing to never be married, if you're choosing all the things, whatever you're choosing, choose it with you in mind, not to uphold this arbitrary standard of excellence that the blacks have to uphold, again, like you said, for capitalism or for white supremacy's sake, so that we can continue to be on this plantation of just this wheel of like what we have to do. We have to be better than. So when you think about it from an outside perspective, I definitely understand now. Thank you for bringing me to the light, because child, I was somewhere totally different. I was like, ain't no way in hell. But again, do what's best for you. And if that feels like not enough for other people, allow them their opinions and move on. Like,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. If I don't think you're excellent, who am I?
Right.
Nobody to you. So
That's right.
I'm glad you brought me to that understanding. You're absolutely right. Other people's expectation of excellence doesn't have to be your own.
Right.
And I think I can understand that that's what that tweet is saying. I don't have to be excellent in your opinion.
Right.
You're mediocre. Why do I keep saying that? You're mediocre can be my excellent, and that's okay.
Right. Like, my whole thing is I'm not talking about the being intentional piece. I just want to bring that home. Like, if you're
Yeah.
intentionally screwing people over, you're mediocre as fuck.
Yeah.
I think my whole thing is just, like I said, Black excellence. It's kind of like that overprotective parent. like, yes, I get why you were doing it in the beginning, and then it got to the point where it just became restrictive,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and
It's abusive now.
you're getting away from your initial intention, which was to protect and to
Hmm.
uplift and to empower. And now it's we just all seem enmeshed right now and
Yeah.
enclosed and
Hmm. Hmm.
insulated. And it's stifling, it's suffocating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
just imagine Black Twitter is your parent and is a helicopter parent. Oh my gosh.
Oh, sounds
At
horrible.
that, like, if you check in Twitter to see if you should bathe every
Oh,
day,
oh man.
I'm just kind of like,
Oh, speaking of bathing,
what's
how they
up?
were going on, how they were going in on
Yeah, what's her
B
face?
Simone. Is that her name?
Yeah, B Simone. And she went
That's
promptly
another.
on that Twitter and took a shower. I'm like, damn, did you have
They
she's like,
bullied
look,
her.
Twitter daddy, I
Oh, Twitter
bathed
daddy.
today.
Are we? But I think even with that, Black people do feel like we all have to do the same things in order to be excellent. And like she said, I don't do what y'all do, and they were like, Jesus.
But they say again, because I didn't make none of that out.
Damn, I said, which burn mistakes?
I don't think the
Okay, that was too far, but you know what I'm saying. Like, but yeah, that I appreciate you bringing me around to the understanding because it definitely. I was like sleeping one night and I woke up like mediocre. I'm like, oh hell no!
I really didn't realize that you were taking it this way.
I
I
know,
thought it was a
I
light,
know.
airy little jokey joke,
And
because
it is, but I think it touched some pieces of me that haven't healed from, my perfectionist nature. And that's why I said, I mean, I leave with the understanding that I'm not perfect and that some of these feelings are ingrained in me that aren't necessarily healthy. You know what I'm saying? To think that I have to always be the one. I mean, these last few years have really been an unlearning for me, and I'm
yeah,
still doing it. It's been
yeah,
an unlearning of what I'm supposed to do as a person, who I'm supposed to be, and how I'm supposed to show up to others
yeah.
and for myself and all those things. So I don't know that I will ever strive for mediocrity, but I definitely strive for my best. And if that don't look like your best, then I'm okay with it. I'm definitely moving to that understanding. And so I can take from this the understanding that was the intention. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I just want to add because it was going through my head,
Uh-huh.
you know, that a lot of times, we got to be kinder to ourselves. A lot of times,
Mm,
like for me, I think I'm mediocre sometimes,
mm, mhm.
because I'm not meeting this standard.
Arbitrary.
Yeah, arbitrary
Yeah.
standard, and
Yeah.
it's really paralyzing.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, even if you think you're mediocre, do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
I like it. I like it.
yeah, like that's like it's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to feel like you're mediocre, but you can work through that.
Yeah. That's
You
true.
know,
That's true. That is very true. Because yeah, the idea that it's not good enough is
yeah.
paralyzing.
So
Yeah, it can be.
for me, I'm like, this is mediocre work.
Like, let me not even
Let me
try
not
no
even
more.
put this out.
Yeah.
And you could be
You're
sitting on
right.
something great or sitting on something with just like a little tweaking, a little
Yeah.
input,
Yeah.
you're hiding and you're not allowing people to see like, hey, I see where you're going with that. I think I can
Yeah.
help you. I think I could
Yeah.
fix that. And it's keeping you away from Black excellence. Avoiding being labeled as mediocre can keep you away from Black excellence, can keep you from
Absolutely.
seeing your own Black excellence. Like,
Mm, mm.
so but I get it, the strong response from the word.
Yeah. It elicited some feelings. I was like,
And I think we need to start
mediocre.
embracing those darker words.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Allow
Yeah.
ourselves the full range of things. That's
Right.
really what it is. We are allowed the full range. We're allowed from bad to excellent. And if you
Yes.
fall in anywhere in between, you're still Black and we still love you.
Like I really
Not too
just
bad though.
right. I mean, everything is on a spectrum. Like
Of
everything
course.
is, and like we need to really unlock that Black spectrum.
That's what it is. Unlock the spectrum.
Yeah, we
Unlock the
need it.
spectrum. I'm down with that.
Yeah, let's
I'm
unlock it,
down with unlocking the spectrum.
and then we can put them Black mediocres, intentional mediocres, down on their side of the spectrum.
Agreed.
Right. And hey, at one point in time, we may all just
We shift.
we shift, we move.
We shift. We shift and
You
move.
know,
We're allowed.
right? It's a spectrum.
That's true. Wow.
But you know what? Even with the spectrum, when you take it in totality, it probably would still equal excellence.
You fucking right, because Black in and of itself is fucking excellent. Hey, glory. Oh, word. Hallelujah. No, this was a really dope topic. I appreciate you finding this on Twitter and letting us go through it. Because, child, when you said that, I said, ooh, this gonna be a good one because I got feelings. Anyway, do you have any shout outs for this episode?
Just, I just want to shout out to people who've just really been rocking with us, who've been listening to our
Yeah.
episodes, despite the fact that I've been feeling really mediocre about how I've been approaching a lot of the advertising promotion for this podcast, and kicking myself for it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. I'm not
Yes.
intentionally taking shortcuts,
Yes.
but sometimes it feels like it or it looks like it.
Yeah.
So the people who support us, the people who are throwing us topics, the people who are sharing our stuff, like that
Yeah.
just, it gives me something to keep going and
Yeah.
to try to be
Absolutely.
better the next time. And I just
Mhm.
really I could cry right now. I just really
Ah!
appreciate y'all like so hard. So
Oh my
that's all. Like,
gosh.
don't do this. Don't do this.
Cry.
But that's
No,
my
but that's
shout out.
real shit. That's real
Yeah.
shit. I want to ditto that. It is the little things that makes us want to keep going. This is what going on 4 years in a minute.
Right?
It's
Like,
wild.
I was in my early 30s when I started this, and now
Cut it out. But true though, and like we've grown as people. I know there's an airplane flying over. I live in the hood, but it's my hood. I live alone in my own space in the hood.
you say I live in the hood.
It's not really the hood. I live
Hell
my
no.
purse in my car. And it's
There ain't no planes near the hood. Helicopters, because they looking for somebody.
Yikes. But no, I ditto that sentiment of just being grateful for the people who are still fucking with us, sharing shit, laughing when we laughing, like really fucking with us, and like that warms my heart, and it does make us want to keep going. Like aside from this being very therapeutic, I feel like without
Right.
this podcast, I still would have grown because of course, but it's been very siloed in my like growth, and I feel like I always look forward to like a new person that's going to emerge from this because like even though sometimes we have the same understanding, a lot of times I'm gaining knowledge just from having these conversations with you, having a different perspective, and so it's been really dope. I'm glad y'all fucking with us. I'm glad y'all fucking with us. Y'all. But now we are to my favorite part. If you are new here, that is the meditation. We take a couple breaths, set an intention, take another couple breaths, and then we let you go about your day. What I would like you to do for me is to take a big, deep breath. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take one more deep breath. And now we will set our intentions. I intend to allow myself any part of the spectrum, from excellence to the opposite of that, to mediocre or whatever comes that day, and allowing myself to sit in that and to know that despite all of that, excellence is who I am. The essence of me is excellent, no matter where I sit on the spectrum.
So it is my intention to accept that I am excellent. To embrace my individuality and with the understanding that that is my form of perfection, and that's excellent.
That is excellent. I love that. All right, we'll take our last set of breaths. Take another big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take one more deep breath. All right, your intentions have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish, sis. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
It surely is, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We are so appreciative of your continued support. You guys are the shit. Also, if you ever have a topic idea you'd like us to discuss, feel free to email us at itsamesssis@gmail.com. If you would like to be a participant on the show, a contributor, a guest, please email us at whatsthemess@gmail.com. If you're more of a social media person, we are also on Instagram, and that's at It's a Mess Sis Podcast. You can find us on Facebook at It's a Mess Sis Podcast, Twitter at It's a Mess Sis, and on YouTube. If you would love to see our beautiful faces, you can search for us. It's a Mess Sis ! And I think that's going to be it. Is there anything else we need to let the people know?
Nope, that is all.
All right, then we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
It's a mess.
Hey, that's why I
It's a
can't
mess.
sing.
It's okay. He's gonna talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.